everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be doing a updated video on tutorials for how to make lash fans. Also, I am filming currently at the salon and I forgot my adapter to my mic, so sorry if it's a little bit hard to hear and there's a lot of background noise, but I still wanted to get this video done. So today I'm going to be using the V Eyelash lash tray. If you guys are interested, it is linked in my bio, and you can get 10% off if you spend over $20. So just use my code MAR10 and you will be able to get anything that's on the site for a discount. And to be honest with you guys, I love these fans or these lashes. I think that they're very easy to fan out, and so today those are the lashes I'll be using to show you guys how to fan them using the pinch method. Usually my go-to method is the pinch method. I know that there's different ways that you can fan, but I've had some people ask me which technique I use, and so this is the technique that I like to use. I think it's the most easiest, and it also allows me to make kind of like the perfect fan in my opinion. So I'm just gonna give you guys some tips and tricks and do like an updated video because it's been a while since I made a fan video, and I've had some people asking for updated videos on that and tutorials. So without further ado, I'm just gonna get into it and show you guys how I make these fans. Okay, so the angle that I am filming this in is quite difficult, so please bear with me if it's kind of hard to see. But these are the tweezers that I will be using. I have used them in my other videos as well. They're from LASHGOD. This is my favorite tweezer for volume. They have a great grip and it is really good quality. So I'm not going to be obviously using this because this is just a demo on lashes, but this is the bonder that I use, also from V Eyelashes. This is my go-to. I do find that it just helps me like make my fans a little bit more efficiently, if that makes sense. So sometimes if it's a little dry, using this bonder allows me to really get my fan to open up and kind of attach to that eyelash really magnetically. So this is my go-to. This is also part of the website, so please feel free to use my code as well. This is my go-to. So as you can see, I use this glue a lot. The print is kind of fading now because of how often I use it, but this is my favorite glue. I do like clear glues rather than black glues because I do find that the fumes are a lot less. So it's still very strong in terms of the hold. The retention is great for me. It does dry faster than the Pro Care. So if you're a beginner or you work in a really high humidity kind of environment, maybe the Pro Care would be better for you. But for me, I like the Diamond Clear Lash Glue. I do like FORABELI in general. They're my favorite lash brand for sure. Everything that I'm using is linked in the bio, so just go ahead, and they're all affiliate links. So it does help me out to create more interesting videos and kind of able to fund these videos. It's a very small commission, so it does help. But also I'll be using a glue ring. I know some people use, some people use tape, some people use little pallets, people use glue dots, people use jade stones. For me, the glue ring is my favorite just because it is closer to the eye. So this is why I like to go ahead and use these. This is the glue shaker that I like to use, also from Amazon, also linked in the bio. I really like it because it just allows me to speed up my lash process. So if I'm trying to work quickly, I don't want to be sitting there shaking my glue for 60 seconds. It cuts it in half, so I could go for 30 seconds or perhaps even like 15 seconds depending on you know how often I change my battery. So what I did notice is for this glue shaker, once the battery starts to run out, the longer you're gonna have to sit there using the glue shaker because obviously the battery isn't as powerful. But right now it's fully charged, so I only have to usually shake for about 15 seconds. Okay, so now we're going to get into the lashing process, obviously. So these are 0.05 lashes, so you're going to have to be very careful of how much you pick up. I have kind of realized that obviously, like, even though it's really easy to fan these and they do seem very lightweight, you still want to keep the integrity of the natural lash. So make sure that you are picking up only an amount that will be healthy for the natural lash to hold. Something else, I always brush my lashes before I go to fan them. I have a spoolie that has this tape on it to be specifically for the lash strip, and you don't want to use this on your client, obviously, because you don't want to cross-contaminate. So that's something that you should really try to focus on. But this just kind of allows the top of this lash strip to be easy to fan out. You don't want them to be sticking together. So this is why I go ahead and brush them. So usually I just go kind of like this, but I also like to run it through this way to really separate those lashes, like so. And then I go again and go upwards like that. And I do this for obviously every lash length I have. Obviously, for purposes of this video, I only have one lash strip, but always do this. You will realize that it actually helps in a lot of ways. You want to make sure that, you know, the faster you are able to fan, the faster you are able to finish your set. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start. So basically what I do, I will zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so like I said before, because this is a 0.05 lash strip, you don't want to grab too much. So usually I would grab maybe around this much. And as you can see, as I pulled up, there are no little flyaways. This is why I love this tweezer. Very easy pickup and very easy to maneuver. Okay, so now that I have my lash fan here, one of the things that I really like to do is to break apart that base. Now, usually if you have good quality lashes like this one, you don't really need to do that, but I always do it just in case, because sometimes the lash strip here can be a little bit sticky. I do find that if you are starting off and you're trying to go and opt out for something that's a little bit more affordable, the base being sticky is definitely an issue that I find with cheaper lash strips, and this is why it's important to not go too cheap. Obviously, if you're starting off, you know, and you're trying to budget, I totally get it, but you know, investing in higher quality lash strips will help you lash a lot faster. And so basically the way I like to go is I go either this way or I go this way. Usually I actually do go this way, and I don't even really pinch. I kind of place the base right between my fingers and I just kind of let it open like so. So as you can see, this one is really easy to open. The only reason I go this way sometimes is because the way that my fingers are positioned this way doesn't always allow me to get that perfect fanning motion. Like, see how it's kind of equally uniform in terms of the lashes, like they're very nicely spread out. I find sometimes when I do this way, they kind of get wonky. Like, as you can see, there's a hair that's kind of a little bit further away from the rest, but when I do this, it's easy for me to control where the hairs are going. I don't know, that this is just from like experience of what I found, and I just kind of play around with it. But usually, like, it's because I'm playing around with it, the lash fan is obviously kind of breaking apart. But I will show you again just without speaking. So also, the way that I'm filming is super awkward, so usually it's a lot easier for me to do it this way. But like I was mentioning before, see how it's... So like I was mentioning before, see how it's a little bit kind of messy. Like, I mean, you can use this for sure, but not my cup of tea. So sometimes just for an extra organized fan, I lightly pinch and I kind of use my finger pressure to push the lashes to where I want them to be placed. And there we go. So I use both methods. I just kind of play around with it until I'm satisfied. Usually I don't have a camera in front of me, so it's a lot faster for me to get it to this point. But like I said, 0.05 is quite heavy, but it's like not as light as 0.03. So obviously I don't want to use too many lashes, and I want to keep that base pointy and thin, right? So that's very crucial. And then when I dip, I just dip a little bit, and then I kind of swipe. And with the right environment, it should dry just as fast. But as you can see, that is quite a good fan. So I'll do another demo. If you guys want me to do a mega volume lash one where I use 0.03, I pick up like a lot more. Like I would pick up maybe like this much, or even like this much. But with these, I don't want to go too heavy, but I can go slightly heavier. So as you can see, the way that I pick this up, it's not as like uniform, but I can still work with it. And again, you guys, we're not pinching hard, right? Like, watch what happens when I pinch too hard. It's not fanning nicely, right? Like, you're kind of getting it a little too messy. But when I lightly just place it here and move my tweezer around, the fans start to open up a little bit nicer, a little bit more organized. And see, that's a decent fan. I mean, me being a perfectionist, I do like to play around a little bit. I do want my lashes to be pretty symmetrical and even all around. Okay, so this one is good. I would definitely use this fan. And again, it is a lot, it's a lot thicker than the last one. And yeah, so the reason I like to use this method is because I'm not really a fan of pomades. I really like to wrap that base around the natural lash to get good retention. So this is why I make my fans rather than using pomades. I made a whole video on pomades versus pre-mades versus hand, like lashing as you go. This is definitely my go-to. So I will do another little pickup. So in terms of the pickup, like as you can see, it's kind of not really organized on the strip here. So I might have kind of run over it with my hand. So I just want to brush it through, make sure it's organized. So when you're picking up volume lashes, you really want to focus on how you pick up. You don't want to grab it this way, you don't want to grab it this way. You want to like pinch it and then pull it towards you. Because I did find before, if I were to like move it aside, what can happen is the fans start to kind of curve a little bit. Or you're more likely to have a lot more flyaways. They don't come out as organized. And this is very crucial also for spikes. If you're doing spikes, I really recommend you guys to focus on pulling forward to keep that spike intact. But this is not a bad grab, and I could still use this, but again, guys, forwards, towards you, right? So even if you're, let's say your lash palette is to your right or left, whatever, I angle it slightly like that. So when I go to pick up and I'm using it on my client and she's in front of me, let's say like here, and my lash palette is here, I angle it this way so that when I pull, I'm still technically pulling towards me. So that's very important. And then again, lightly, gently place it and release. and you want to release the tweezer like very lightly. So you're not letting go completely, but you are definitely just kind of, there we go. Oh, that is such a nice fan. I love this fan. And if you guys are wondering, wider fans definitely give a more fluffy light look, and more narrow fans create more of a dense look. So then I go ahead and remember, guys, to read the glue packaging. You want to make sure that you are getting the correct humidity and environment to be able to make your lashes. So this is that lash, and yeah, honestly, really like this one. I usually go pretty fluffy. Fluffy is my style, but again, people have different styles, so always keep two. I'll also kind of show you guys how I pick up my spikes. So, okay, so a good example is this. This can be used for a spike. It could be, but see how it's open at the top there? I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that. I like my fans to be kind of closed. So I'll dip it in and I will pinch the top a little bit. And see, that's better for me. Like, I like it when it's closed like that, but I don't really recommend spending too much time on focusing on the top part of your spike. You can always close that spike up by using bonder or primer at the end of your set to make it really sharp. But that's another video I can do. Obviously, when you visit my page on the main homepage, you can see that I made 3 ways on how to make spikes, so you could also follow that as well. But yeah, there's also another little tip that you can follow. So remember how I was talking about breaking the base? You can use the sticky side of the strip here and just kind of do this. And basically what that does is it opens up the base of your fan. As you can see, it's a little fluffy at the very base of there, right there. And that makes it a lot easier for you to fan. And so this is a narrow fan. Still very, still a fan, you can still use it, but I genuinely make my fans quite wide. I just really like the airy, fluffy look. So this is how I like my fans, but I mean, to each their own. Narrow fans aren't bad at all. It just depends what kind of look you're going for, right? But yeah, if we're going fluffy, wider for me, and I just like it. And yeah, so here are some of the fans. So that was one of them. This was another. So I mean, I try to keep them as symmetrical as possible because obviously you want the set that you're going for, unless it's like a textured set, you want it to be relatively symmetrical throughout the eye so that it looks the same. But I think these are pretty close. Like, I mean, I'm not going for too perfect, obviously, because it's impossible to get super perfect. But if you pay close attention and try to get it to the relatively same type of width and same amount of lash pickup, you're gonna get like a really nice set that turns out. So I hope this video helped. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Something that you will notice though, also, you want to make sure that the glue is drying at a fast enough rate that your fans won't close up. One thing I did notice is that when I moved into this salon, it was quite dry in here. So what would happen is I would dip my lash in here, and then because it's not curing at the end, the glue would travel upwards the fan, and then my fan would end up closing up and turning into a spike rather than an open fan. So just be careful of that and be wary. People don't really understand how glue can really affect your fans. It is very crucial. But like I said before, you can use not only an accelerator, but you can use, not just a bonder, but you can use an accelerator. So this is the accelerator that I use. It is a, it's for the lash strip. So bonder I put on the lashes, accelerator I use on the strip. And this is because for me, the bonder has a sticky consistency, so it closes the base of the fan and it's hard for me to fan out. Through trial and error, this is what I've noticed. This is an accelerator made to put on the strip lash so that it doesn't close it up. If you're having a hard time fanning using this, you might have used way too much product. Now they say the same thing for that, but this is sticky. It's a sticky consistency, and so I just recommend using it more so on the natural eyelashes and this on the extension part. So that concludes this video. I really hope that it was helpful in some type of way. Sorry if it's really noisy. Again, I forgot my adapter to my mic, so bear with me guys. But if you have any questions, please leave a comment in the comment section down below. I will try to make a mega volume lash one because those lashes are a lot thicker and I don't think that certain techniques would work for mega volume. So let me know if you want to see that. I can do an updated video on that as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you found that this was helpful, give this video a thumbs up and suggest more videos. This video was suggested in my comments, so I decided to do an updated video. But I really appreciate you guys all watching, and I post 6:15 every Sunday, so let me know. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks so much.